Bole Vrindavan Hari Katha ki jai, Bale Sanwali ki jai. Come on, Jai Jai Sri Radhe, Jai Jai Sri Radhe, Jai Jai Sri Radhe. In this Gokul Bhajan group, they are very learned in Shastra. Is it true? Huh? And they're very humble also. So, I have some questions for you. Can you realize Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, by doing karmas in this world? No. Can you realize Krishna by becoming a great philosopher? No. Can you realize Krishna by doing Ashtanga Yoga? No. How can you realize Krishna? Huh? What is the path? What type of yoga do you have to do? Pure bhakti, transcendental bhakti, that is called Uttama bhakti. So, our Srila Rupa Goswami has explained the definition of Uttama bhakti. Does anyone know?
Yeah, okay, tell the sloka.
Do they know?
Anya Vilasita.
Raise your hand if you know. Anya Bilashita.
Everyone say?
Everyone knows.
They all know. Okay, all together.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Anya Bilashita Shunyam Jnanakamagyanavritam Anukulyena Krishna. Oh, very good. Krishna can only be realized by Uttama Bhakti. That means the continuous and unbroken cultivation of all endeavors of your body, your mind and your words, which are meant exclusively for the benefit of Sri Krishna, not mixed up with any karma, gyan or yoga or dry austerities, tapasya, and which is also completely free from even the slightest trace of any other desire. Only then this bhakti is called Uttama Bhakti, transcendental devotion. By this Krishna can be realized and understood. So there are many persons also practicing Uttama Bhakti, but they're not all on the same level, all in the same stage. So to help us understand this, our very great Goswami, Srila Sanatana Goswami, has explained a very wonderful history. So you like to hear stories? No, not so much. Do you want to hear a story?
Yes.
Okay. Once upon a time, Narada Muni, you know Narad? Yes? He's always playing on his veena and singing kirtan. Narad Muni came to a place called Prayag, where two rivers, Ganga and Jamuna, meet. And there in Prayag, he saw one Brahmin. This Brahmin, he came with many family members and associates onto the bank of Jamuna. And he put one table there and decorated it. Then he made a very beautiful pandal around it. And then from one box he was carrying around his neck, he opened and he took out Shalagram Shila. And he put his Shalagram Shila there, and then along with his associates, they did a puja of Shalagram Shila. And they offered so much bhoga to the Shalagram Shila, and they distributed it to all of the brahmanas and other persons who had gathered to see this festival. And they were chanting and dancing, they did Harinam Sankirtan. And then in the end, that Brahman, he bowed down to his Shalagram Shila. He said, "Oh my Lord, everything I have done, whatever benefit comes from this, all things I offer to you." When Narad Muni saw this, he was very inspired. And he approached that Brahmana and he said to him, You are the true recipient of the mercy of Krishna. You have really received Krishna's mercy. I am fortunate to have your association. That Brahman said, "Oh please, don't say such things. I am not really a great recipient of Krishna's mercy. One day every year, I come here and I make this festival. But you should know that in South India, there is a king. And this king, he makes a festival bigger than this every single day. Every day, he's offering tons and tons of bhog to the deities and he feeds everyone in the kingdom. Thousands of people come from all directions and many sadhus, they come and they live in his kingdom. So they can participate in daily festivals, not only one day. So my wealth is small, he has vast wealth. And I'm serving my small Shalagram Shila. He has a very beautiful deity of Lord Narayan with lotus eyes. So if you really want to see a great devotee, you should go to South India and see him." So then Narad Muni, he was very inspired. He thought, "Oh, I thought this person was the greatest devotee. But now I will really see who is the greatest devotee." So then Narad, he flew through the air by his mystic powers and quickly he arrived in South India. When he arrived there, he saw a wonderful place. In the whole kingdom there, everyone was engaged in kirtan, everyone was engaged in making garlands, decorating the deity, performing dramas, plays, and so on. Many sadhus were there, prasadam distribution was going on. And then Narad, he approached the king, who was in ecstasy of bhakti. He said, "Today I am most fortunate because today I have the darshan of the greatest devotee. You are the true recipient of Krishna's mercy." Then the king, he became very humble. He said, "Oh Narad, please forgive me, but I cannot agree with you. I am not a great recipient of the Lord's mercy. Why? I am just a human being, an insignificant human being. I may live for only not more than 100 years. And I have a little wealth, but not so much to engage in the service of the Lord. If you want to know who the great devotees are, they are the Devatas, the demigods. And among them, who is the king? King of the Devatas? Indra. Indra, he's so fortunate. He's not only making a festival every day to serve the deity, but the Supreme Lord himself personally comes to his abode every day, flying on the back of a Garuda. Not only that, but the Supreme Lord has appeared as Indra's own younger brother. You know, Vamandev is the younger brother of Indra. And so God himself gives respect to Indra as an elder brother and personally comes every day to accept his worship. So if you really want to see a great devotee, then you should go and have the darshan of Indra. So then Narad became very inspired. And he flew from earth and he flew up to the Indralok, to the heavenly planet. When he arrived there in Indralok, Lord Vamandev was sitting on the back of Garuda and Indra was offering arti to him and offering prayers to him, bowing down to him, and Indra was crying. Tears of love were flowing from his eyes. How many eyes does he have? 1,000 eyes. Everywhere, all over his body has eyes. All his eyes were crying in love for Lord Vamandev and he was bowing down. And then suddenly Garuda flapped his wings and Garuda flew away and took Vaman, disappeared into the distance. Then Narad, he approached Indra and he said, "Oh Indra, you are the greatest recipient of Krishna's mercy. How fortunate you are that the Lord personally comes every day to see you and you worship Him directly." Hearing this, Indra said, "Oh Narad, you are a great poet." That means poets always exaggerate. You're exaggerating. Really, I'm not a great devotee at all. Just consider what a great devotee I am. You see? What is my life? I live for 71 cycles. Satyayug, Tretayug, Dwapara, Kali Yuga. This is a very long time, millions of years. I live for 71 cycles. And after that, my life is finished. So my life is actually very short. Because even in one day of Lord Brahma, there are 14 Indras. And Brahma lives for 360 days of a year, and he lives for 100 years. So how many Indras like me are born and die in the life of Brahma? I'm like an insect. I'm nothing. And you are thinking that I am the recipient of Krishna's mercy because I live in this heavenly place. But I tell you, heaven is not such a good place to be. Why? Because all the people here, we are envious of each other, thinking, is he more beautiful than me? Can he sing better than me? Oh, is the Apsara that he's dancing with more beautiful than my Apsara? So we have enmity. There's envy here in the heavenly planets. Sometimes I become so overwhelmed with some passions and enmity that even I may kill a Brahmin. Do you know when did Indra kill a Brahmin? Have you read Srimad Bhagavatam? Every day you have to read Srimad Bhagavatam. Raise your hand if you're reading Srimad Bhagavatam every day. Alas, alas. Now ask the adults. Adults, who's reading Srimad Bhagavatam every day? Only my very dear Krishna Priya. You must read Srimad Bhagavatam every day. There you know that Indra became disturbed that Vishwarup, one Brahmin, he was offering oblations to the demons, to him and also to the demons. And he killed Vishwarup. So Indra said, "Look, what kind of a devotee am I? I become angry, I become envious, I even killed a Brahmin. And I'm always afraid that I'll lose my kingdom." Does Indra ever lose his kingdom? Who can explain one of the times that Indra lost his kingdom?
Just at a festival in Italy.
Yes. Hiranyakashipu took over heaven and Indra became a homeless person. He had nowhere to go. Another time, the grandson of the Prahlad Maharaj, that means the great-grandson of Hiranyakashipu, Bali Maharaj, he also took over heaven. So Indra said, many times I become a homeless person and I lose everything. So how am I the recipient of the mercy of the Lord? It's not true at all. And you know, when I was in trouble, at that time, I prayed to the Lord, please, when Bali Maharaj took over my kingdom, I prayed to the Lord, please help me. So what did Krishna do? He came as a dwarf Brahmin, Vaman. And instead of just going and killing my enemy and getting the kingdom back, he went to him and he begged. He begged the kingdom back and took it as charity. So why did he do this? Only to insult me. Yeah? Indra's a king. Kings never beg for anything. So Lord Narayan, Lord Vishnu, he could have got my kingdom back in any way, but he deliberately took my kingdom back in such a way that it would be complete embarrassment for me. So how can you say that he's so merciful to me? He's always trying to embarrass me. Another time, what happened? All the demigods, they were being attacked by a very powerful demon. Who was that? Vritrasura. You know? 6th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So Vritrasura, who was defeating all the demons, I could not fight with him. So I prayed to Krishna, please help me, please help me. And what did he do? How did Krishna help Indra kill Vritrasura? Who knows? He told him, oh, you can kill him, but only with a weapon, thunderbolt weapon. And this thunderbolt weapon can only be made from the bones of the Dichi Muni. So then Indra said, I had to go to a brahman and beg. Not for only for charity. I had to beg for his bones. Excuse me, can you just die? Because the only way I can save my kingdom is making a weapon out of your bones. He said, how embarrassing is that? So then when I made the thunderbolt weapon, and I began to fight with Vritrasura, and I was cutting, he was huge, he was a big giant. It took Indra 1 year to cut off his head with a thunderbolt weapon. So while I was killing him, then what happened? This demon began to pray, Aham hare tava padai kamula dasanudaso bhavitasmi bhuya. Oh my Lord, in my next life, may I be the servant of your servant only. And then I discovered, actually he wasn't a demon, he was a great devotee, and I was cutting off his head. So Indra told Narada, you're trying to tell me that I'm a great devotee? You know how many embarrassing mistakes I have made? And at every step, the Supreme Lord tries to embarrass me at all times. So terrible. You know, down on earth there was one village, and in this village every year they used to do a puja for me. And you know, the Supreme Lord, in the form of Krishna, his original form, Krishna, he told them, don't give any offerings to Indra. Give everything to Govardhan instead. And the mountains, they're the enemy of Indra. So you just see. And then I inundated Braj with my rain and thunder. I tried to kill everyone. So you're trying to tell me that I'm the greatest devotee. I am very offensive. I'm an offensive person. So please don't embarrass me and say I'm the greatest devotee. If you want to see a great devotee, said you go to Lord Brahma. Brahma is really a great devotee. In fact, they say that Brahma is none different from Krishna, because the Supreme Lord, in the form of Brahma, Vishnu and Mahesh, as Brahma he creates, as Mahesh Shiva he destroys, and as Vishnu he maintains. So Brahma is none different from Krishna. So you should go there if you want to see a great devotee. So then Narad Muni, playing on his veena, then he set out and he went to Brahmalok. So there he came to Brahmalok, and Lord Brahma was offering prayers among with the sages to the Mahapurush. Om Sahasasisha Purusha Sahasraksha Sahasapate Sabhumin Vishwato Vritta Attatishta Dashangulam Purushahe Vedagam Sarvam. Like this. And when Lord Brahma had finished his prayers, then Narada approached him. He said, today I am fortunate because today I have the opportunity to meet the greatest recipient of Krishna's mercy. When Lord Brahma heard this, what did he do? He covered his ears. You know, he's got 8 ears, you know, so he covered all of his 8 ears of his 4 faces. He said, don't say that I'm a great devotee. I am not a great devotee. I have no devotion at all. Narad said, but people say that you are non-different from Krishna. I said, no, that's not true. The expansion of the expansion of the expansion of Krishna, Mahavishnu, every time he breathes, I am born, and when he breathes in, and then I die. Every time he breathes, millions of Brahmas like me are born and then destroyed again. I am not a great devotee. In fact, I am lucky if in one day of my life, I can live one day of my life without committing offenses to Krishna. You know? Because what happened? Every day in the day of Lord Brahma, Krishna comes to this world. And he becomes bewildered by Yoga Maya. And then he goes, what did he do? He stole Krishna's friends. And he stole Krishna's calves, not the cows. Krishna was only 5, he wasn't grazing the cows. Yeah? When Krishna's 5, the cows are too big for him, he just takes the calves out. So he said, what happens? I become bewildered sometimes, and I try to steal Krishna's friends and his cows. So I am worse than Indra, because when Indra sent the rain to Braj, at that time Krishna lifted Govardhan hill and all the Brijbasis came together. So Krishna was pleased. Why? Because he could be together with all the gopis and Radharani for 7 days living in the same house, that means underneath the house of Govardhan. But what did I do? Indra brought all the devotees together with Krishna, but I tried to take the devotees away. So I am very offensive. Not only that, but I make complete chaos in the universe. Who gave the benedictions to Hiranyakashipu that made him so powerful? Who was it? Me. And even then, I still didn't learn my lesson. When Lord Nrsimhadev appeared and killed Hiranyakashipu, then, Prahlad offered prayers to him. And I was very far away, I was afraid to go close to him. And at that time, Lord Nrsimhadev said to me, hey Brahma, don't give any stupid benedictions again to the demons. And I beg for forgiveness. Yes, my Lord, I won't do it again. That was in Satyayug. But then what happened? Tretayug came. And who worshipped me in Tretayug? Ravan. And again I gave benedictions to Ravan. Now Ravan became powerful. And he made a big disturbance in the universe and stole away Sita. So you're calling me a great devotee. But how many problems I give to the devotees. How many problems I give to Krishna and his various incarnations. So I am a very fallen person. I have a very big ego. I think I am the creator of the universe. This is all illusion. Alas, alas. He said, Lord Brahma said to Narada, look, if you want to see a great devotee, you should go to Shivalok. Lord Shiva, he is really a great devotee. Sometimes Shiva, he also makes some mistakes. But when I make a mistake, Krishna won't talk to me. But when Shiva makes a mistake, Krishna is just laughing because he has friendship with Shiva. And he speaks to him in a very loving way with the mood of friendship. So you go and see Lord Shiva. So then Narada, he flew from Brahmalok and he came to Shivalok to see Lord Shiva, where Lord Shiva was engaged in worshipping his Ishtadev, Sankarshan, and dancing in Kirtan. So when Narad Muni arrived there, what did he say? He said, today I am very fortunate because today I have the darshan of the person who is the greatest recipient of Krishna's mercy. You are the greatest recipient of Krishna's mercy. I bow down to you. Lord Shiva became embarrassed. Actually it's not true. I am not really a great recipient of Krishna's mercy. I am embarrassed. Look at the services that he gives me to do. I have to destroy the whole universe. Sometimes I give benedictions to dangerous demons like Vrikasur, and they attack me, and I have to run to Krishna to get help. You know, one of my devotees, Banasur, I gave him thousands of alms. And Banasur, he captured Krishna's the grandson Aniruddha. And then, when Krishna came to have a battle with him, then I fought on the side of Banasur. So I myself were fighting against, what type of devotee am I that I fight against Krishna? I am not a great devotee at all. Not only that, but the devotees of Krishna are very humble. But who am I? I am the Adhishtatri Devata of the element of Ahankar. I am the god of false ego. So how much false ego do I have? I am the god of false ego. I give false ego to everyone. In this way, how can they become devotees? So I am not really a good devotee. You know that? Krishna gave me the order. You should appear in the world as Shankar Acharya and teach Mayavad philosophy. What is this? I came in the world as Shankaracharya and taught impersonalism, which is against pure bhakti. So, I am not a great devotee at all. Really, if you want to meet a great devotee, you should go to Vaikuntha. The residents of Vaikuntha are very, very humble. And the Supreme Lord is their life and soul. Their whole life is a festival of devotional service. They are beyond this material world. They never engaged in the gunas like I am engaged with the activities of tamagun. You should go and see them. Then the wife of Lord Shiva, Parvati, she said, but actually, even greater than the devotees who are liberated in Vaikuntha are devotees like Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj, he is such, whether he is in the material world or the spiritual world, he doesn't care. Because he's always absorbed in the ecstasy of love. Go and see Prahlad Maharaj. He's living in the Sutal planetary system. So then Narada became very happy. And he flew to the Sutal planetary system. And there he saw Prahlad Maharaj. And seeing Prahlad Maharaj, he began to dance. Oh, today I am so fortunate, today I am so fortunate. Because time is going so fast. Today I am so fortunate because I have the darshan of the greatest recipient of Krishna's mercy, Prahlad Maharaj. What did Prahlad Maharaj say? No, I am not a great devotee. I am not a... You know, that Lord Nrsimhadev, he appeared, but why? Lord Nrsimhadev appeared to keep true the word of Lord Brahma. Lord Nrsimhadev appeared to protect all the demigods who had lost their homes in heaven. Lord Nrsimhadev came to protect Dharma in the universe. He didn't really appear for me, because he appeared and he took me on his lap just for a moment and then he disappeared and then I never saw him again. What is this? People say that I'm great. Why? Because I tolerated all types of suffering. My father tried to kill me in so many different ways, but I tolerated everything. So people say I'm great for this. People say that I'm great because I preached to all the children of the demons and they all became devotees. But if you consider these activities, these are not direct service to Krishna. To tolerate problems and to preach to others about, this is not direct service to him. So what have I ever done for Lord Nrsimhadev? I never gave him a glass of water even. I didn't give him any food, I didn't give him massage. I have not directly served him. If you want to see a great devotee, you should go to Hanuman. Hanuman directly serves Lord Ram. You know, when Ravan stole away Sita, Hanuman traveled all over the world and discovered where Sita was. And when Hanuman came back to Lord Ram with the news, Ram was so happy that Lord Ram embraced Hanuman. Thank you so much. And then Hanuman led the invasion of Lanka. He burnt Lanka to the ground. So he serves Ram in so many ways. Sometimes he carries Ram and Lakshman on his shoulders and becomes their vehicle for traveling. Sometimes by his tail, he makes an umbrella and keeps them in the shade. So Hanuman is serving Ram in so many ways. I have not done any service like this. You go and see Hanuman. So then, the Narad Muni, he flew to Ayodhya. He flew to Kinpurusha Varsh, where Hanuman was living. And there was a deity of Ram. And Hanuman was there and he was singing. Raghupati Raghav Raja Ram, Patita Pavana Sita Ram, Raghupati Raghav Raja Ram, Patita Pavana Sita Ram, Sita Ram, Sita there and said, "Oh Hanuman, today I am so fortunate because today I see the greatest recipient of the mercy of the Lord." Hanuman began to cry. He said, "I have no mercy at all. If I have mercy, then why is it that when Lord Ram and Sita finished their pastimes in this world and they went to Sanket Dham in the spiritual world, they took Vibhishan and Sugriv and Angad, Lakshman, everyone went there. But Ram said, 'Hanuman, you have to stay here. I was the only one who was left behind. So how am I the recipient of the mercy of the Lord? I pass my days decorating this deity of Lord Ram and hearing the Gandharvas sing Ramayana like this. But I am not a great devotee at all.' Some people say that I am great because I sometimes carry the Lord on my shoulders and I directly serve Him. But if you want to meet great devotees, you should go to Hastinapur, because there in Hastinapur live the Pandavas. The Pandavas are great devotees. I am serving the Lord, but the Lord is serving the Pandavas. Krishna becomes their chariot driver. He drives the chariot for them. He becomes their messenger. Sometimes at night when they're resting, he stands outside with a weapon and he's their security guard. So Krishna, the Pandavas are so great that Krishna is serving the Pandavas. So they are really the recipients of Krishna's mercy. You should go and see them. So then Narada, he became more ecstatic. And from Kimpurushavas, he flew to Hastinapur. And when he arrived there, the Pandavas were having a meeting. And in that meeting, Yudhishthira Maharaj was saying, "Look, perhaps we have to organize another Rajasura Yagya. Because if we make a big Yagya, then Krishna will come." Draupadi was saying, "Well, perhaps we can spread a rumor that we're in danger, we have a big problem, because Krishna comes whenever we have a problem." When Draupadi, her pot, she had washed her pot and turned it over, and Durvasa Muni came with 60,000 disciples, she couldn't feed them. She was very worried, and at that time Krishna came. He said, "Oh, show me your pot." And he found a little piece of spinach was stuck to the pot. And he took it. In this way, whenever the Pandavas have a problem, whenever they're in trouble, Krishna himself comes and saves them. So they were thinking, how can we get into some trouble so that Krishna will come and see us again? So when Narada arrived, they were having a meeting and they were trying to figure out a way to bring Krishna to Hastinapur. So then Narada said, Haribo, today I'm fortunate, because today I see those who are really the recipients of Krishna's mercy. So then Yudhishthira Maharaj and Bhimsen and Arjun, Nakul and Sahadev, Draupadi and Kunti Devi, all of them, they looked very sad. And they said, "Oh Narad," they bowed down to him. "Oh Narad, we are not really the recipients of Krishna's mercy." Why? Because we hardly ever see him. When we had problems in our life, he used to come and save us. But now, he made Yudhishthira Maharaj the emperor of the whole world and everything is fine, there are no problems. Now we don't see him anymore. He's always staying in Dwarka with the Yadavas, his associates there. Arjun said, "Yeah, and what about me? He said, people say that I am a great devotee because Krishna spoke the Bhagavad Gita to me. But what is this Bhagavad Gita? Only full of gyan. Those who are gyanis, they're interested in gyan. They're very much like Bhagavad Gita. But those who are pure devotees, they don't have taste in this. And by speaking this Bhagavad Gita to me, Krishna made me take up my weapons and fight. And you know what is the most valuable thing in the whole world? Sadhu Sangha. Sadhu Sangha, the association of sadhus, is the most valuable thing in the whole world. But what did Krishna make me do? By speaking the Bhagavad Gita, he made me kill Bhishmadev. Bhishmadev is one of the 12 Mahajans. He's one of the greatest sadhus in the world. He made me kill Dronacharya, my own guru. So in this way, what was the use of this Bhagavad Gita? I lost all my sadhu sangha. So how am I the recipient of Krishna's mercy? Not at all. So in this way the Pandavas were crying. And they said, listen, if you want to see a great devotees of Krishna, go to Dwarka. And there are the Yadavas. The Yadu dynasty, they're Krishna's own family members. They interact with him in a very beautiful, very intimate and family way. They are greatest devotees, you should go there. So then Narad, he became in great ecstasy and he flew through the sky and he landed in the astonishing city of Dwarka. You know Dwarka is a big city with skyscrapers. In Sanskrit that's called Akasha Chumbi, kissing the sky, Akash Chumbi. And it's a fortress in the middle of the ocean. So Narad arrived in that beautiful transcendental place. And he went to the Sudharma assembly house where King Ugrasen, he was sitting. And all the Yadavas were there. It's like the parliament. The parliament of the Dwarka. And they're all sitting there and they were looking at the path into which Krishna will enter into the assembly house, waiting for him to come. But on that day, Krishna wasn't there. Every day, he comes to the Sudharma assembly house for a meeting, and all the Yadus are sitting there, and they're waiting for him to arrive. But today, Krishna was late. He had not come. So when Narad arrived there, then he said, today I am fortunate because today I am seeing the Yadavas. And there were thousands of Yadavas there, and Narad bowed down to them. But the Yadavas, they were very excited. They said, oh Narad, you are like the incarnation of devotional service itself. And they took Narad, and Ugrasen Maharaj brought him and sat him down on a very big, beautiful throne in the middle of the assembly of the Yadavas. And when they sat him on that throne, what did Narad do? He slid off the throne and he sat on the floor. How can I sit on a throne in the company of all these great devotees of Krishna? So Narad sat on the floor, and all the Yadavas, they think, well, how can we sit on our chairs if Narad is sitting on the floor? So they all sat on the floor. They all sat on the floor around Narad. Narad said, you are the greatest devotees. Ugrasen Maharaj, he said, I am not a great devotee at all. Though we are Krishna's family members, you know, he wanders here and there. Sometimes goes to Hastinapur, sometimes to Mithila. And he stays inside his palace. We don't see him, just like today. We're all waiting and waiting, and Krishna hasn't even come to see us today. So if you want to see a great devotee, you should see Uddhava. Uddhava is Krishna's closest friend. He sleeps together with Krishna in the same room. When Krishna eats, then afterwards Uddhava directly takes Krishna's remnants. Krishna doesn't give his remnants to us, he gives his remnants to Uddhava. And wherever Krishna goes, Uddhava goes with him. And he's so intimate, such a close friend and servant and advisor to Krishna. So if you want to see the greatest devotee, then you should go and see Uddhava. So then Narad, he set off. He came out of the assembly house of the Yadavas and he traveled through Dwarka and he went to the palace where Krishna lives with Rukmini. He has so many palaces, but he went to the prominent palace, the palace of Rukmini. Oh, now listen very carefully. As Narad was approaching the palace, he was remembering the glories of Uddhava, and his legs were trembling. His hairs were standing on end. Sometimes he would stumble and fall on the ground and then get up again. Sometimes he was stunned and couldn't move. And in great ecstasy, he entered to the room just outside Krishna's room. Krishna was inside his bedroom. He didn't even get out of bed that day. Krishna was lying in bed with his head underneath a pillow and he was crying. He was depressed. He couldn't get out of bed to go to work that day and go to the assembly house of the Kauravas, of the Yadavas. And outside his room, his close family members were very sad. Devaki was there, his mother, Satyabhama and Rukmini, his wives. and Uddhava was there, and his brother Balaram, and they were all outside Krishna's bedroom, and they were very worried. Why doesn't Krishna wake up? Why doesn't he get up today? And Narad came, he was crying and crying, and he came there and he fell on the ground weeping, and he became unconscious. And the family members of Krishna surrounded him. And they wiped the tears from his eyes, and Narad opened his eyes. And he saw Uddhava, and he said to Uddhava, "Oh Uddhava, you are the greatest recipient of the mercy of Krishna." And what did Uddhava say? Uddhava said, "Yes. Yes, everything that you say about me is true." Narad said, "You're his intimate friend, you're his advisor, you stay with him wherever he goes." Uddhava said, yes, it's all true, it's all true. Everyone says it and it's all true. But one thing is this. I also used to believe it, but I don't believe it anymore. I used to think that I am the most intimate and beloved devotee of Krishna. But now I no longer believe that. But if you want to know why, then please, just don't ask why. Don't ask why I no longer believe it. Why did Uddhava say that to Narad? Why? Because if Narad will say, "Why don't you believe that you are the greatest devotee of Krishna anymore?" then Uddhava will have to tell him about the time Krishna sent him to Vrindavan. And he'll have to speak about the glories of the gopis in front of Krishna's wives, Rukmini and Satyabhama. So Uddhava saying, listen, don't ask me why I don't believe it anymore. And more, if he'll speak about Krishna's Vrindavan Leela, Krishna might be listening. And if Krishna will become overwhelmed in remembering the residents of Vrindavan, he might just up and leave everyone and go to Vrindavan and leave all the residents of Dwarka forever. And then everyone will blame him. So Uddhava was saying, "Oh Narad, don't ask me, don't go there. Just don't go there. Because I'll have to speak about the residents of Vrindavan." So at that time, Balaram's mother, Rohini, she stood up and said, "Oh Uddhava, why are you saying that the residents of Vrindavan really receive Krishna's mercy? That's not true. You know, when Krishna was in Vrindavan, so many demons came. Putana, and Trinavarta, Shakatasura, Agasur, Bakasur. And they made so many problems for the Brijbasis. And what did Krishna do? He just got up and he left them all. They never wanted anything from him. They only wanted to serve him and love him. And they underwent so many problems. But what did Krishna do? He just got up and left them. So I think that Krishna, he has no love, Rohini, because Rohini is very upset. I think he has no love at all for the residents of Vrindavan. I myself, I was a great fool. Because when Krishna came back from being in the Gurukul, where did Krishna go to Gurukul? Avantipur. Do you know who his teacher was? Who's Krishna's teacher in Gurukul? Who knows? Sandipani Muni. She said when Krishna came back from the Gurukul of Sandipani Muni, at that time I was remembering how Mother Yashoda was crying when he left. And all Brijbasis were crying. And I told Krishna about their condition of separation to try to encourage him to go, but he didn't go. What did he do? He just wrote some letters and gave them to Uddhava. So I think he has no love for the Brijbasis at all. So then Rukmini, she stood up and said, "Don't say that. I know that Krishna loves the residents of Vrindavan." Why? Because at night, when I'm in bed at night and Krishna is sleeping, in his sleep, Krishna is sleeping and, "Oh Padma Gande, oh Dhavali, oh Shamali." Krishna is crying in his sleep and calling out the names of his cows. He misses the cows of Vrindavan so much that he's crying to them in his sleep. Not only that, but sometimes he says, "Oh Radhika, oh Lalita, Vishaka." Sometimes in his sleep, he catches me by the hand and says, "Oh Chandravali, let's go to this kunj." So I have to experience this. So I know that Krishna loves the residents of Vrindavan by the way he behaves in his sleep. Suddenly Satyabhama stood up and said, "Rukmini, you're a liar. Why don't you tell the truth? Tell the truth. He's not only like that when he's asleep. He's like that when he's awake. We're his wives only in name. We're his wives in name only. You tell the truth. The truth is that even those who are the maid servants of the gopis of Vrindavan, they're more dear to him than we are. He just wanders around the palace in a daze. He doesn't even see us. He's only remembering them. And in this way, Satyabhama, she's more fiery, She began to complain about Krishna like this. So then Balaram got up. He said, "You're all foolish. You know that Krishna did a very wrong thing by abandoning all the Brijvasis. And just so others won't criticize him, he's pretending that he's suffering in separation. He's calling the cows in his sleep. It's all for show. Otherwise you'll criticize him for what he did and think he has a stone heart. It's all for show and you've fallen for it. He has no love for the Brijvasis at all. Nothing." So just then, Krishna came out from his bedroom. It was really late. Krishna came out from the room and he said to everyone, "Balaram is right. He's right. I don't have any love at all for the Brijvasis. My heart is like a stone. Why has my heart already broken into thousands of pieces? Alas, alas, I'm very cruel." And Krishna, he took the hand of Uddhava and he said, "Uddhava, what should I do? Give me advice, what should I do?" But before Uddhava could give an answer, Devaki stood up and she said, "Krishna, just give the Brijvasis whatever they want, whatever they need, just give it to them." So then Padmavati is the wife of Ugrasen Maharaj, the emperor of Dwarka, and she's also the mother of Kamsa. So then Padmavati, she stood up and she said, "Yes, those Brijvasis, they were very cruel to Krishna. They used to make him go out into the forest every day in the hot sun. They didn't even give him any shoes. And he had to wander barefoot in the brambles of the forest. And they didn't used to feed him. He was so hungry, he had to go house to house stealing butter. And one time when he was so hungry, he was stealing butter in his own house. And what did they do? They tied him up with ropes. So these Brijvasis are very cruel. So I have an idea. We can ask Garga Muni, and Garga Muni can calculate down to the last morsel of food how much food Nanda Maharaj gave to Krishna and Balaram during their 11 years while they were staying there. And we can reimburse Nanda Maharaj and the Brijvasis for all of that food double. We'll reimburse them double and then let's just call it quits. And we'll leave it up to the discretion of Nanda Maharaj if he wants to reimburse us with some wages for Krishna for all the time he was taking care of the cows. He can reimburse us if he wants, but we're not insisting. Like this. Love. Krishna said to Uddhava, "What can I do?" Uddhava said, "There's only one thing that the Brijvasis want. The only thing they want is you. They cannot survive without you. In separation from you, even one moment seems to last like thousands and thousands of years." Then Padmavati, she stood up. She said, "Oh, what are you talking about? They just want him to go back to take care of the cows. Because I heard that there are thousands and thousands of cows in Braj, and most of them have died now. And the rest are about to die because he's not looking after them." So then Balaram, he stood up and said, "No, Krishna, your cows are dying in separation from you. The Brijvasis, they're dying. In fact, the Brijvasis, they don't want to live in separation from you. The Jamuna river, which was such a big river, has become just a little stream. So the Brijvasis, they thought, let's drown ourselves in the Jamuna. But when they got there, it was just a little stream. It wasn't possible to drown themselves. He said, "Oh Krishna, in separation from you, Govardhan hill, which was so big, has shrunk down and just become very small now." So the Brijbasis, they thought, let's jump from the top of Govardhan. But when they arrived there, Govardhan was small. And they couldn't kill themselves in this way. So now the Brijbasis, they're praying for another forest fire. 2 times in Braj there was a forest fire, and Krishna drank the forest fire. They're praying for another forest fire, because then they can enter into the forest fire and give up their lives. And then saying this, Balaram was crying, and hearing it, Krishna was crying. And Krishna embraced Balaram, and they embraced each other weeping, and the 2 of them fainted and fell to the ground unconscious. So now Krishna and Balaram were lying on the ground unconscious. And Uddhava was crying, and Devaki was crying, Satyabhama was crying, Rukmini was crying, and all the residents of the Yadu dynasty, they were in the Sudama assembly house. They heard them all this crying, and they all ran, and thousands of Yadavas ran there and surrounded Krishna and Balaram, and they all began to cry. What can we do? Now Krishna and Balaram are unconscious. Maybe they'll stop breathing. Maybe they'll die in separation. So the sound of the crying of all the Yadu dynasty, it spread throughout the universe, up to Brahmalok. And then Lord Brahma in Brahmalok, he flew down from Brahmalok, and he came there on his swan carrier to Dwarka. And he looked at the whole situation. So Brahma is very intelligent, and he made a plan what to do. He told all the Yadavas, just you go home there, I'll take care of this situation. So the Yadavas went home, and Garuda was there, he was also crying. So Lord Brahma told him to Garuda, don't cry, I need your help now. Put Krishna and Balaram on your back, and you should fly them to a place. Vishwakarma. Vishwakarma is the architect of the demigods. And in the valley of Raivat mountain, just across the ocean here, he's made a wonderful place, a wonderful garden, which is a replica of Vrindavan. It's called Nava Vrindavan. And there's a replica of Govardhan, a replica of the forest of Vrindavan. There is a river there that looks just like Jamuna. And there are deities, there are statues of Madhya Yashoda, Nanda Maharaj, and the cowherd boys, Radharani and the gopis. So let's take Krishna and Balaram there. So Garuda very skillfully with his wings, he put Krishna and Balaram on his back, and Garuda was flying through the air, and he carried them to Nava Vrindavan, the replica of Vrindavan, and put Krishna and Balaram down on one bed. So Narada came, and he was hovering in the sky, hiding in the clouds, because he wanted to see what would happen next. And Uddhava and the queens of Dwarka, Satyabhama, Rukmini, Jambavati, Nagnajiti, Kalindi, and others, and also Padmavati, the mother of Kamsa, and Devaki, they were all in a hiding place, and they were watching to see what will happen with Krishna and Balaram. So Krishna, Balaram, he was the first one. He opened his eyes and he came to sense, and he understood what Brahma had done. And he realized, oh, this is the only way to bring Krishna out of his fainting condition, is to make him think that he's in Vrindavan. And then he'll wake up. So then Balaram, he took off his cloth like a prince, a warrior, and dressed himself like a cowherd boy. And then he took Krishna's cloth as a prince and decorated Krishna, gave him a pitambar, gave Krishna a peacock feather, gave Krishna earrings made of gunja berries. He gave Krishna a flute. And now Krishna was decorated beautifully like a cowherd boy. No, all the others there, they'd never seen Krishna as a cowherd boy. They only saw him as a Kshatriya, as a warrior. And they looked, wow, he's so beautiful. And then Balaram jumped up. He said, oh Krishna, Krishna, come on, it's late. The cows are and your cowherd boyfriends, they're heading into the forest already. Let's go, let's go. So then Krishna opened his eyes and he woke up. Oh. And he grabbed his flute and he stood up. Oh, I'm in Vrindavan. So he got up and he came out of his room, and there he saw the deity of Nanda Maharaj, but he thought he was real. And he bowed down to the deity of Nanda Maharaj. He gave pranam to his father, And then he gave pranam to his mother. And he said, "Oh mother, I had a really weird dream last night. I had a very strange dream. What wonderful things I saw. But now I'm late to take the cows out. I'll tell you about it later." So the deity of Yashoda, she had in her hand a lump of butter. So Krishna just grabbed the butter from his mother's hand and went running after. He didn't eat it because he went running after Balaram, because Balaram had already gone. And he has so much love that when he steals anything, he doesn't eat it himself, he shares it with his friends. So Krishna went running off with his butter in his hand to catch up with Balaram. But as he was going, he saw the deity of Radharani. And seeing the deity of Radharani standing there, like this, he looked at Radharani and he thought, "Why are you not talking to me?" "Oh, I know why you're not talking to me. You're in Man, aren't you? You're in Man. You're upset with me." You know, females are really weird. They have these intuitions. He said, "You know what I dreamt about last night, don't you? You know that in my dream last night I left you. I went to a faraway place. And I got married to all of these princesses. But listen, I can explain everything. I can explain everything. You see, if I didn't marry them, they would have died. I only married them to stop them from killing themselves." You know, Rukmini, she was going to fast until death. Lifetime after lifetime, unless Krishna comes. So, really it wasn't my fault. Listen, I'll tell you all about it later. I have to go now. And then Krishna, he looked left and right to make sure no one was looking. And he quickly kissed Radharani and then ran after Balaram. So then Krishna, he went into the forest. And then he was looking. Oh, the cows have gone so far ahead. They must already be on the bank of the Jamuna. So Krishna was going and he was playing his flute. And as he was playing his flute, he looked so beautiful. All the residents of Dwarka who were hiding in the bushes and watching, they could not believe how beautiful it was. Devaki, his mother, had never seen anything like it before. And even though she was old, tears flowed from her eyes and milk began to flow from her breast. She had no milk in her breast for years, but now milk was flowing from her breast. When Rukmini saw Krishna as a cowherd boy playing a flute, then Rukmini and Jambavati and other queens, overwhelmed with love, they just said, "Ah," and they fainted. When Satyabhama saw the beauty of Krishna, no, not only Satyabhama, even the old lady Padmavati who was criticizing the Brajbasis, she suddenly jumped up out of the bushes and went running after Krishna to embrace and kiss him. Satyabhama was also running with her arms out to embrace and kiss Krishna. But Uddhava and Kalindi quickly got up and they caught Satyabhama and caught Padmavati and dragged them back into the bushes. Said, "Don't disturb him right now, don't disturb him." So then Krishna, he was walking and he came on the bank of the Jamuna. But this was not Jamuna. What was it? It was the ocean. It was the shore of the sea. Krishna was thinking, the waves in Jamuna are rather big today. Because the waves, the ocean were crashing again and again. And Krishna was looking around, where are the cows, where are the cows? And he looked, and rising up out of the ocean, he saw a spectacular city. He saw skyscrapers made of jewels rising up out of the ocean. He saw Dwarka. And he looked, and he thought, that's the place I saw in my dream last night. And then Krishna became confused. He said, "Where am I? What am I? Who am I?" Krishna was completely confused. Krishna thought, am I a cowherd boy who had a dream that I was a prince? Or am I a prince who is having a dream that I'm a cowherd boy? And Krishna was completely confused. He was in a dilemma. What is real? Am I a cowherd boy who dreamt I was a prince? Or am I a prince? And I'm dreaming now that I'm a cowherd boy. At that moment, Balaram said, "Oh Vasudev, oh Parameshwara, remember your promise. Why you came to this world. You have promised. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bar." All the kids go on. abhyutanam dharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham puritranaya sadhunam dharma samsthapanapataya sambhavami yuge yuge. You also the Mahabharata. Yeah? So Balaram said, Vasudev, remember why you came to this world, to destroy the demons and save the devotees. And then Krishna, that was the answer to his question. Am I a coward boy, dreaming that I was a prince, or am I a prince, dreaming that I'm a coward boy? And that was the answer to his question. The answer is, you're a prince. And you're God. You're the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and you came to this world to destroy the demons and establish Dharma. When Krishna realized this truth, he went, oh no. It was a total disappointment to realize that he was God. Because for a moment he'd totally forgotten. He thought, I'm the son of Nanda Maharaj. I'm the son of Yashoda. I am the secret boyfriend of the daughter of Vrishabhanu Maharaj. I'm a coward boy of Vrindavan. But now he realized that he was God, and he became quite sad. He thought, why am I dressed like this? And he took off his peacock feather and he put down his flute. He was quite disappointed. Balaram said, come on. It's been a very difficult day, let's go home. So then Krishna and Balaram, they returned to Dwarka. So this history is very important for us. Why? Because from this history we learn what really makes Krishna happy. Bhakti means devotion, and devotion means pleasing Krishna. And from this pastime we can learn what really makes Krishna happy, and what makes Krishna happy is when he doesn't know that he's God. When he's playing in Vrindavan as a cowherd boy. When he thinks, I'm the son of Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj. So if you serve Krishna and you love Krishna and say, oh Krishna, you are Swayam Bhagavan. Eitai Changsa Kala Pungsas Krishnas tu Bhagavan Swayam. Then Krishna, he may be pleased, but he's not fully satisfied. He cannot be controlled by such love. And this is why our Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhar, Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, Mahaprabhu and his associates have come to this world to distribute Nam Sankirtan, that all will chant the names of Krishna and relate to Krishna, following the path of Raganuga Bhakti, to forget that Krishna is God and to have a loving relationship with Him, following in the footsteps of the residents of Vrindavan. So we are all very fortunate, we are all very, very lucky to come in this line of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and have the opportunity every day to do kirtan together and to serve Krishna and follow in the footsteps of the residents of Vrindavan. Because only the love of the residents of Vrindavan completely controls the heart of Krishna and gives him full satisfaction. And that is Uttama Bhakti, the highest Bhakti. Anya Vilashita Shunyam Jnana Kamartana Anukulena Krishna Nushlam Bhakti. Bhale Vrindavan Vyari Lal ki Jai, Barasane Wali ki Jai, Jai Jai Sri Radha.